So let's build something, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
let's.
Now, I may need your help here. I'm going to do a lot of stuff.
All right.
And I can't guarantee that it's going to work because I didn't bring a script or anything. If I miss a step and it doesn't work, I'm going to say, Christopher, help me out here, okay?
I'll do my best.
We'll do our best to make sure that it works. So if we can go to my screen here for
We're
just
really
a moment.
live here.
We really are. So what I'm going to do for starters is go out to the Azure portal. And I'm going to begin a new machine learning model. Now, what I'm doing right here, you couldn't do in the new Azure portal until just a few weeks ago. As you're probably aware, the Azure portal is constantly evolving, gaining new features and capabilities. Until a few weeks ago, if you wanted to do something with machine learning, you just typically went straight to ML Studio, or sometimes you started in the classic portal. But today, you can do at least part of this in the new portal. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to begin by creating a new machine learning workspace. So we'll let this blade load up here. And if I go into Intelligence plus Analytics, one of the options that I'll find on the right is one for creating a new machine learning workspace. Now, Christopher, this isn't creating a model. What this is doing is creating a workspace that's sort of a container for models. So if I'm working on a lot of different stuff, maybe I'm building some models from Microsoft and I'm building some models for Wintellect and I want to keep those separate, I could create a workspace for each. So we're just going to create a new machine learning workspace here. And it's going to ask me a few questions like, what do you want to call the workspace name? This name has to be somewhat unique. So let's see when I type the company name in there if it'll take that. Looks like it will. And I'm going to have it create a new resource group. This is not required, but it's not a bad idea. If you're not familiar with resource groups in Azure, the reason these are so important, one reason they're so important is when you create very complex Azure solutions composed of multiple resources like ML models, Event Hub, Stream Analytics jobs, and things like that, you can group them into a resource group, and then if you want to delete them, for example, rather than delete them one by one, you can just delete the resource group and everything gets deleted. There are a lot of other reasons resource groups are important too, but that's the big one. So we're going to choose a location for this workspace here, and we'll choose South Central US. You can see the options are somewhat limited right now. And one of the things that's going to happen when I create this workspace is that an Azure storage account is going to be created to store everything that I build into my model and all that. Now, storage account names in Azure have to be unique to Azure because they become part of a DNS name. Right now, it's telling me someone's already used the name Wintellect Storage, so I'll just try putting a 2 on there and see if the portal tells me that would be unique, and it looks like it is. So with that, we'll do a create. Now, again, I'm not creating a model here. I'm just creating a workspace that can hold different machine learning models. Oh, and I get an error. Please figure, oh, that's right. I need to go down here and do one thing. I have to tell it what pricing tier that I want. That was hidden. But we'll just choose the standard pricing tier. And now if I select that, that should allow me to create that. By the way, another really cool thing about Azure Machine Learning is that it auto-scales. So, I'm going to be running a fairly small, fairly simple model, but if I were to build one that uses lots and lots of data and requires lots of computational resources, when I ask that model to execute, it will automatically scale for me. We won't actually see that here, but it's something that you should know is happening. So let's see here. I'm going to go over and look at the resource groups that exist here. And let's see here. We want Wintellect resources. That's the resource group that was just created when I created that ML workspace. And you can see that it tells me last deployment succeeded, so this worked. And this is the workspace right here, Wintellect. So when I click there, it's going to give me a simple UI for transitioning over to Azure Machine Learning Studio to actually build this model out. So we'll click right here, and we'll see a new browser tab open. This is Azure ML Studio. You can go to it directly if you want, studio.azureml.net. I'm going to sign in with my Microsoft account here, and we are now going to create a new machine learning model.